So let's have a little play about with the computer. Now it's just rebooted, but I'll do it again. Commodore PC BIOS version 4.41. I've burnt this BIOS a few weeks ago to the very latest version that was available. It's booted from a CF card now by using the XT to IDE ISA card. As I said, the hard drive has read-write errors. So the speed selection is quite interesting. In normal mode it is in 4.77 megahertz, which is Control-Alt-S, which is that. Then we have turbo, and then we have double. Every time the CPU speed increases, the tone increases. So double is the highest speed available. So let's see if this makes any difference to DOS. I've very quickly formatted the CF card and put DOS 6.22 on, not for any particular reason other than it's the one I had at hand. Originally it would have had DOS 3. So as you can see, we have various programs on here, very few of which actually work, but some do. The first thing we'll look at is Snooper. If those of you familiar with DOS remember Snooper back in the day. Version 3.44. And Snooper is a diagnostic program which will tell you all about the computer, allegedly anyway. So we have a computer, it says it's an XT or an XT370 with an 8086 10 MHz CPU, CGA graphics, and ISA bus. It has 655 kilobytes of conventional memory, and the BIOS is the 30th of the 11th 1990. Now originally it came with a much lower BIOS, but like I say, I've changed that. So that's about it. There's not much else to say. It says it has a fixed disk, but it knows it's not IDE. I've had to disable the hard drive on the motherboard by removing a jumper. We can do benchmarks. Now we have 4.4 megahertz throughput. Now Snooper is a program I used to use continually back in the DOS days, and one of the speeds I do remember was 170 megahertz throughput, and I think that might have been on a 486, but my memory may be playing tricks on me there. I could do well, let's do a video test, but it's quite ponderous. For some reason it thinks it's Thursday, October the 5th, 2090, but that's okay. So the video characters are 2035 characters per second. Might as well do a hard disk test. We'll compare the speeds as well. 230 kilobytes a second, so that's pretty good. So if we put the CPU to standard mode, there we go, the CPU speed changes on the fly to 2.2 megahertz. We'll do turbo. That gets us 3.3, and now double. So we're 4.4, and the CPU has changed to an 8086 10 megahertz. So it thinks it's an 8086 anyway, regardless of what speed it's doing. Okay. So what use is a Commodore 8088 from whenever this was made? Well, in truth, none at all really, but it's a bit of novelty. So I'm going to try a couple of games. I might have to reboot, I'm not sure, and then we'll try Windows just for the sheer hell of it. And I may or may not, if people are interested, do a stream of this later. But I think everyone knows what DOS games look like, and everyone knows what DOS is. So I'm not sure how interested people will be, but I just wanted to show the PC20 running and working. So Commander Keen doesn't work for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. It should work, but it doesn't. No, I'm not going to try it. The temptation's always there, isn't it? Didn't work last time, but it might work this time. No, it won't. So what can we try? Let's try Ford. Now I do remember this kicking about years ago, the Ford simulator. Ford, I don't know what version this is. Oh, I've got a directory and a directory and a directory. For no obvious reason. That's a lot of files. And the game is, what is the game? Ford. Although there is InfoBat, PBSBat and SimUL.exe. But anyway. Not quite sure why it's not colour on this screen. But anyway. It is a colour CGA output. But this Commodore monitor doesn't seem to want to display it. Although it is pin sharp, it's lovely. Ford Buyer's Guide. Select from 29 models, equip each model with the way you want and then compute your monthly payments. Tell us what you think about the Ford simulator. Take to the wheel of 16 models. Well, let's do it. Test track, touring, drag strip, slalom, Grand Prix. Well, let's just go touring. Okay, so let's pick a car. What are we going to have? Let's have the, oh, I don't know. It's Ford, I suppose you've got to go Mustang. I to start. S for seatbelt. Is it an auto? It is an auto. Would this make you rush out and buy a Ford? Not sure it would, to be perfectly honest. Let's take it on a Grand Prix. Yeah, Mustang. Don't have to change gear then. I to start, S for seatbelt. Oh, we've got graphics now. We've got a city line, like pole position. This is really extremely poor, to be perfectly honest. I think the ZX Spectrum could probably pull off something of a similar quality to this. Dreadful. Escape. Escape, yes please. Escape. Escape Ford and buy something else. F10 quit, yes please. F10 to quit to DOS, yes please. Lovely. That's the best thing about the Ford simulator, you can quit it. Right, we'll do one more and I think that will do. Everyone knows what DOS is, everyone knows what DOS games look like, and everyone knows what CGA games look like, I think. Let's go for Star Glider. It should be funny. Oh. Oh, come on. God, DOS, how do these bloody things ever take off when you've got such a crap system? Truncated bloody words, command line interface. Hideous. English, please. Ooh. P palette. Or whatever. Some colours may not work on some systems. Fair enough. Keyboard, yep. You now have manual control. Perhaps I should have read the instructions. There we go. To be honest, it's mine detected. To say this is run at 10 megahertz, it I never played Star Glider. I don't know how to play Star Glider. I never knew how to play Star Glider. I always thought it kind of reminded me of Star Wars on the planet surface, but anyway. Yeah, to say it's running at 10 megahertz, it's not the fastest thing, but it's not too slow either. It's not too shabby. If it had had decent sound, it wouldn't be too much of a hardship to play games on, I don't think. Especially at 10 megahertz, it's quite usable. So anyway, there we go. That is the... Oh, I seem to be flying into space. That is the PC20 from Commodore. It's got a nice little machine. I could understand why it sold well, or reasonably well. It seemed popular, and there are plenty of them about. So yeah, seems pretty good. I might try and find some more games on it and work out why it's not in colour. Well, I can go down. Right, okay. Excellent. Okay, that's it from me. I may or may not do a stream. Like I say, if people want me to do a stream and play some games, I'm more than happy to. Obviously it's PC speaker, so there'll be no sound, but I don't think that's too much of a problem, as I can talk incessantly for hours on end. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a very pleasant weekend. I'll see you next time.